told me about it, I just said, well, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I? And because I love giving, and I love feeling the energy of people that are having ahas, you know, like really, and being of service that way. So I want to just kind of, as I was listening to everybody talking about their monsters, the monster, as doesn't have to be right, but the feeling is I'm not okay. And this is this survival brain wiring. When we're little, we don't have another part of our brain to process our identity accurately. And it's all emotional driven. Emotions fired, repetition of those emotions wired. So we are products of a repeated emotional state. Right now, you are the product of a repeated emotional state. And I hear lots of people in recovery. There's a lot of people all of a sudden showing up in my world that are, you know, in the recovery world. And I want to say, we're all addicted. Some people to external things, food, alcohol, shopping, porn, but there's a primary addiction that all of us are not free of without investigation and rewiring, and that is that inner emotional messaging that we're not okay. That's what sparked all of our identity, for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, I love what you said about, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be. And if it wasn't for Monster Energy, I wouldn't have probably made presidential when I did. The thing I want to address to all of you guys is Monster Energy effective? I had a coach ask me the other day, can I really be successful if I don't have my monster, Kim? Because it's my monster that keeps me comparing, keeps me judging, keeps me in all or nothing, keeps me, and when I'm in all, oh my gosh, you know, Katie bar the door, right? When you guys are in all mode, it is effective, right? Fear is incredibly effective. And all the little fear is really that survival brain messaging that said, inaccurately but very powerfully when I was whatever age, and it kept reinforcing with repetition of that emotion, I'm not okay, I'm not okay, I'm not okay. And the other breath was, you have to be okay. Okay, so following flight is that, I think, the first messaging we felt when we were little. We're not okay. We had that radar running way before we even had language or understanding or reasoning. We had no reasoning about, have you ever tried to reason with a 2-year-old? It doesn't work. They don't have the equipment. You can't say, honey, I love you so much, because you just got done spanking them for running out to the street because you love them so much. But they can't process that logically. We all processed our identity completely illogically, completely inaccurately. Just think of a baby right now. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Think of one of your babies, if you have one. If not, just picture a Gerber baby or any baby, I don't care. But maybe like 3 to 6 months old. Pick that little baby in your mind. Imagine it. Feel. What feels? What do you feel like when you think and feel that essence of that baby? Is there anything that baby could ever do to be less or more worthy, perfect, unconditionally loved as it is? Is there anything? Now put your face in that baby. That's you. That's you. Before you were raised in the environment of fear. Okay? So go ahead and come back to me. I know I'd love to keep you there for long. I'd love to keep you out there. But that is what we do. When they say we do meditations, we actually bring back that feeling of who we are, right? Because, and you judge that you think, I'm listening to everybody. And you're all saying, this is why I stepped away from Optavia for a few years to write my book. Because I'm like, what the heck? Like, I was raised in a very fundamental Christian background. So the answer that environment has is, well, it's Satan or it's the flesh, right? And all those things, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying there's another answer to it as well. And it's textbook predictable. Textbook predictable based on brain science. You had no way of knowing, or knowing here. See, I was raised in church. I knew all my life, oh yeah, God loves me, I'm unconditionally loved, blah, blah, blah. And it was blah, blah, blah. Because my reality wasn't, my identity wasn't aligned to that truth. You know, in the deep place truth. How many of you, when you say an aha you have, when you get something at the deep place and you try to say it to someone, do you ever feel like, but no, that's not, no, I'm not saying it. Like you hear the triteness of what you're saying because it doesn't match. Words are so limiting. We cannot live in the world of words. It's horrible. Someday I think we're all going to be telepathically, I think we already are, by the way.
Yes.
So my point is, it's actually rewiring. I love, many of you said it. Is it good? Yes. Is it bad? Well, those are judgment words, right? Does it serve you? Yes. And has it served you in your life? Yeah, because the fight message said, you better prove you're okay. You better prove these people have to take care of you. It's illogical. With our logical brains, we have a hard time understanding this. But these people have to take care of you. They have to like you. You have to be acceptable. So we're looking around. I have this newborn grandson I'm just visiting in Pasadena. That's why I'm here. And I'm holding him. And now with this knowledge of this, I'm like, oh my gosh. No, but there's no escaping it, by the way. No matter how perfect you are as a parent, there's no escaping this. But you can help. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. But I'm looking at him going, his little connections he's making right now about what's the radar running when cognition starts even more and more, you know, how many of your kids ran away to hide to go poop when they were in their diaper, right? The poop, yeah. I go, wait, what caused that? Who taught them poop was a thing to hide for? They didn't do it to pee. They didn't do it when they peed, but they did it when they pooped. Well, I'm telling my son and daughter-in-law now, and they know this, my poop story. Don't make any faces when you're changing a poopy diaper. Don't go, because they have no idea what you're saying. Okay, think of a 3-month-old looking at your face going, uh-oh, the radar's running. Uh-oh, I may not be okay. This behavior does this to them. This is what they do when I do that. You don't think little babies have these connections all the time. And that's why when they're 2 and just running around in a diaper, they go hide. Or they might have poop issues their whole life because of this. I know a lot of people have told me that. Sorry, Louise. Okay. So, but what do you do about it, right? That was the end of my book. People would say, thank you for making me aware, Cam. That's why I do what I do. It's maybe helpful, but I'm wearing myself to death. Because what do I do, right? And that's why I kind of went on a quest about learning how to rewire. Because you cannot rewire fully cerebrally. How many of you, honestly, listen to this question. How many of you think, or probably have a sense, you know everything there is to know to be, well, let's just talk about physical health, okay? You know everything there is to know to be physically healthy.
No.
You don't think so? Well, you know what? You could, maybe you're right. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you just need one more book. If you just had one more book, if I just went to one more seminar, if I just had one more coaching call. See the myth about all that? And you think, because that's how a protective, your logical brain has been programmed by your emotional inaccurate brain. So now we use our logical brain. Who said analytic? Yeah. Now, that part of your brain that didn't fully develop till mid-20s, by the way. Okay? So it was very much, your monster was in the driver's seat of your identity for the good and the bad, the productive and the shame and the fight and the flight. All of this is in our identity, who we are now. But that logical brain, now, without investigation, it will only serve to defend, justify, and rationalize what emotional inaccurate triggers you got. Well, you don't understand, Kim. I'm blah, 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 blah. Oh, is that what? Okay. So we're defending that now because, well, yeah, because you don't know. You don't know what it's like being married to them. You don't know what it's like. I struggled with food all my life. I've been heavy all my life. You don't understand. I was abused when I was a kid. I was raped. I was molested. I was beaten. You don't see? Now, are all those things probably true? I'm not doubting it. And so what? Right? Not so what that I don't care, but does that serve you? Are you watching from an observer to the story that part of your identity is steeped in? And that's caused these. In fact, I just read. If you want another, you've got to read another book. I have the same thing. I don't do it because I need it from my, like, oh, if I just had it. I just find it very interesting. And this book is lighting me up right now. It's called The Rabbit Effect. Anybody? The Rabbit Effect. She's exactly, her introduction, I'm jumping up and down screaming as I'm driving in the car. She goes, they did a test with New Zealand white male rabbits. And she's a medical doctor that has all the prestigious initials after her name. Like, she loves science, loves medicine, loves cutting edge. And she goes, there was anomalies in medicine that I couldn't figure out. And she goes, I saw this test of white male rabbits, and they were all the theory was if they are fed a high-fat diet, that they're going to have heart disease and die early, like they're going to have high cholesterol, blah, 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 right? This was the theory these scientists went into. But they found this huge group of rabbits that did not fit, they did not have the results. They were not having the disease like the other ones. They're like, what? Like 60% of these rabbits didn't show heart disease like the other ones, and didn't die prematurely like the other ones. They're like, is our theory wrong? Are we going to have to start over with a whole new thing? They researched, looked until they found the researcher that was raising a huge group of rabbits. And it was a woman, not of course.
It's okay, girl. It was okay, girl.
This woman, she fed them exactly the same time of day, same everything, except she spoke to them, she loved on them, she cuddled them, she actually, you've seen these tests done with plants and water, right? Energy of love. But listen, it didn't have them have heart disease. And I look around, what is our biggest need today?
Love.
Do people need a nutrition program that works? Yes, until it doesn't. Until it doesn't. If we put, we're in our group right now, we're doing element 22, which is, what is it called? Fulfillment. It's like that, the creating a life of fulfillment, right? And many of you have spoken about the legacy and about what you're leaving. And some of you think you're leaving them money is a legacy. Please shift, if you can, shift away from leaving your children all these material things at the risk of, let your kids struggle. Let your kids struggle. Honestly, it's the hardest thing for me to do with my kids because I am the mom. It's not as hard for my husband. He can let them struggle. It's harder for me, right? But I'm like, I want them to learn what I've learned. And you don't learn it cerebrally. You learn it in the gutters. You learn it, like this is Al-Anon, right? You've got to let people hit bottom. Because you will love them more if you let them struggle. You will show that love more. It's painful for you. But this isn't about you. And we save our kids mainly because we don't want to suffer. Right? Think about that. We don't want to suffer. So it's about us. Proving we're a good parent. Proving, oh, they need to see I love them. Then get your hands off of them. Get your hands off of them. And let them deal with their own, get your energy out of the mix. Okay, sorry, that wasn't in my thing, but I just wanted to